Okay, then. My God. The Nets just traded James Harden, and the Sixers finally traded Ben Simmons. Here's the trade. So here's what I know. It is Paul Millsap in the deal as well. It's James Harden and Paul Millsap to the Philadelphia 76ers. Yes, the Nets traded within a division rival for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks. Brooklyn, how do you not come away with Matisse Thybulle or Tyrese Maxey in that deal as well? When the deal expected to have both one of those names in there, none of them were in it. It was Ben Simmons, who's a pretty good defender, by the way. The Nets needed some defense, and that's what Ben Simmons brings to the table. He's a very good defender. They have Andre Drummond, who can grab rebounds, pretty good rebounder too. And then you have Seth Curry, who's a pretty good free-point shooter. They need more shooting depth. And the Sixers got the superstar they needed to create more floor spacing with Embiid. Who is my MVP, right? Who is by far my MVP. Like, just unreal. I was not expecting Ben Simmons to be traded at all this year. Then I heard the Harden rumors. I'm like, what is Harden doing? I'm like, then I saw the Harden rumors. I was like, is it gonna happen? And by the way, in 1 month, Brooklyn comes to Philly. That game better be on ESPN so that way everyone can watch it to see Ben Simmons get booed in Philadelphia. That entire Nets team will get booed in Philadelphia because of Ben's, and now they got Ben Simmons to top it all off. I'm gonna read these comments. How's it going, Jared? Oh boy. How do you feel about this trade? I want to know. How do you feel about this trade? For both, I want you to take a neutral stance on this. I want you to tell me how both sides are feeling about this trade. Um, so yeah, this is gonna be huge for the Eastern Conference. You got the Milwaukee Bucks, who are the defending NBA champions. You have the Nets, who have Kevin Durant. You can't count out a team who has a man by the name of Kevin Durant, even though the Nets are in the play-in right now. You have the 76ers, who just got James Harden, and they have Joel Embiid. And you have the Bulls, who have been playing out of their minds this year. Now the 76ers just got better. Does this move get the 76ers over the top? James Harden is notorious for blowing in the playoffs, even though he played on a hurt hamstring and had to get carried by Kevin Durant. But yeah, Woj bomb of all Woj bomb. And well, Shams busted it out first. This trade, I think Philly wins. Because Ben Simmons was a distraction. Even though Joel Embiid balled the hell out this year and is my pick to win MVP. Seth Curry is inconsistent. Andre Drummond is getting old. Yeah, James Harden is a free agent. And I think he's going to end up leaving. Unless he gets a ring, then Philly's going to make sure to bring him back. Like this James Harden trade is huge. I think Philly is going to end up. I think it's gonna be Philly and the Milwaukee Bucks, like my preseason pick for the Eastern Conference. Philly and the Bucks. I actually had Philly in the finals too in my preseason. Now I think Philly could actually get to the finals because now they actually got shooting to complement with Embiid. Well, Harden may blow it in the playoffs. He's a lot better of a shooter than Ben Simmons is because Ben Simmons was scared to shoot. I want to see Philly and the Nets in the first round. I want to see Ben Simmons have to deal with playoff Philadelphia atmosphere. Yeah, Philly's going to end up winning a championship. Even though, yes, Doc Rivers is a bad coach when it comes to the playoffs, I do think this is a chance that they win it all because the Western Conference outside of Golden State and Phoenix is pretty weak. Even though I think Golden State is better than Phoenix. Yeah, but Holy Wojbomb wasn't expecting Ben Simmons to have been traded now. Not to mention another news, San Antonio got to go on Dragic, who was getting bought out, and I think someone stupid is going to sign him. Um, um, I think it's going to be the Bucks or Philadelphia 76ers. Either one of those two getting the Eastern Conference title and having to play the Golden State Warriors or the Phoenix Suns. I think if the 76ers play the Suns, I'll take the 76ers. Um, because DeAndre Ayton is not stopping Joel Embiid. Nobody on the Phoenix Suns is stopping Joel Embiid. Nobody is. I don't think there's anybody in the league who can stop Joel Embiid, except maybe the Raptors, because the Raptors know how to defeat Joel Embiid. Now it's going to be harder to stop Joel Embiid. Now you got James Harden. Daryl Morey got James Harden in Houston. Now Daryl Morey got him in Philadelphia. 76ers got that. This was huge for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now you could see a lot of James Harden and Joel Embiid pick and rolls, like what James Harden did with Clint Capella. Ran a lot of pick and rolls, but Houston traded him just to go small ball. But my God, this was huge. Well, they haven't seen a lot of Westbrook rumors. I'm like, nobody's getting Westbrook. Nobody's getting Russell Westbrook. Nobody is trading for Westbrook because of that contract. So yeah, what in the world? Um, yeah, now people are gonna be using the Nets because Simmons is actually good in 2K because he's a slasher, he's tall, he's lengthy, and he can play defense. Nets. All right, I'm gonna look at the Nets side. You get Steph Curry, pretty good shooter. You get Ben Simmons. Yeah, he's a horrible shooter, but here's a point I'm gonna make about Ben Simmons. He's a pretty good defender. He's a pretty good defender. And he can score. He's a scorer and he can play great deep and he's a pretty good defender. Like in that second round series between the Hawks and the Sixers, why wasn't Ben Simmons on Trae Young? Why wasn't Simmons on Young? Why wasn't Simmons on him? Because that way Simmons would have actually put a locked in. Because Simmons would have actually locked up Trae Young. Because Simmons is a good defender. But anyways, Andre Drummond, what the Nets needed rebounding. They needed rebounding. They needed a rebounding big. Drummond is that type of big. Um, Now he is getting older, so I think Philly was gonna end up trading him because he was probably gonna retire after the year ended. Um, I think Philadelphia side. You got James Harden, wanted a superstar. This is why they waited for Ben Simmons to be traded. They wanted to see if James Harden was available, and indeed, he was, and it happened. Yep. But Philadelphia got a huge need with James Harden. Paul Millsap. I think they're gonna buy him out. I think Paul Millsap's gone. Paul Millsap now is a liability. Like, this trade deadline was crazy. With Goran Dragic being traded to the San Antonio Spurs, and we're buying him out. James Harden trade. Um, Rob Marinelli's retiring. Ooh, okay. Um, Brooklyn may use those first, and Brooklyn got 2 first-round picks. They're probably going to use them for trade bait. I think they're using them for trade bait. I think they're going to try and trade those first-round picks. So yeah, it's gonna do it. James Harden got traded. Ben Simmons finally got traded. I will see y'all next time.